The song I'm going to share with you today, I've shared on my YouTube channel in the past. In fact, it was placed there on March 22nd, 2025. It received a warm response, dozens of positive reactions and thoughtful comments, and I was grateful for each and every one of them. Today, I'm sharing it again, but for a very different reason. You see, I've known Mr. Steve Gilnett since I was about 14 years old and he was 12. Now, we really didn't hang out much back in those days. He was younger, more of a friend to my little brother Eddie, who happened to be his age. We all lived in Sterling Estates, a trailer park in Justice, Illinois. Isn't it kind of funny and ridiculous how much 2 years in age matters when you're a teenager and doesn't seem to matter at all when you get to be in your 60s and 70s? When I was a kid living in that trailer park, I had a small band called the Sterlings. I was the singer. My brother Eddie played the drums, and our guitarists were my best friend J.C. Jeffries and a fellow named Sam Crane. We had no idea Steve could even play guitar back then. Had we known, he might have been a part of that group. Well, like it happens for most people, life moved on. I joined the Army right out of high school and eventually headed to Vietnam. Steve followed just a few months later, enlisting in the Marine Corps at the young age of 17. Though he's earned his honorable discharge long ago, we all know the saying, and it's true: once a Marine, always a Marine. Years later, shortly after I got married, Steve came to visit me from Florida. We spent several days playing guitar and writing songs together. And yes, the songs we wrote mainly had to do with love relationships between boys and girls. Well, Steve eventually married his wife, Sue, and together they built a life rooted in faith, music, and family. He became a gifted and respected singer-songwriter, leading both a gospel band and a Johnny Cash tribute band, always staying true to his admiration for the man in black. Now, you'll see in many of the pictures that pass before you in this piece that Steve is actually dressed in black in most of the time. One of Steve's closest childhood friends was a fellow songwriter by the name of Thomas Messick. Now, Tom had the nickname of Deuce. Deuce has since passed on, but before he died, he and Steve collaborated on a song. Steve wrote the lyrics and Deuce composed the music, and this was many, many years ago. But just a couple of weeks before my posting of his song in March of 2025, Steve shared it with me during a phone call. He asked if I would sing it, but after hearing his heartfelt performance and learning the story behind it, I knew I couldn't do it justice. Instead, I decided the right thing to do was to honor Steve by featuring his song on my channel. And then something happened. Something that has changed everything. Today is January 6, 2026. Last night, I learned from a friend of Steve's, Gary Schiffling, that my dear friend Steve passed away yesterday. And like many of us do, I find myself thinking about the time we did not take advantage of, the years that slipped by once distance became a factor. I live in Mississippi. Steve lived in Virginia. We were both busy men working to support our families. However, over the past couple of years, since about 2024, Steve and I did reconnect on a regular basis because we were both retired. We had time to talk, to consult, to write songs together long distance through phone calls and video chats. We have one being copywritten now entitled, "Would You Carve Semper Fi on My Tomb?" That one Steve was especially fond of, and that one I will not hesitate to share with you when the time is right. But the last time Steve and I were actually face to face, handshake to handshake, was back in the summer of 1974 and 1975, when he came up from Florida to visit me and some friends in the Chicago area. 50 years has passed without another face-to-face meeting. At the time, those 50 years seemed to drag. But standing here today, it feels like they flew by. During those 5 decades, long before social media, Steve would reach out to me at least once a year, almost always around Christmas, just to wish me and my family a Merry Christmas. That's the kind of man he was. Once a friend, always a friend, much like the Marine creed he lived by. As a child, everyone I met was either friend or foe. I either loved him or I hated him. But Steve wasn't like that. He was Mr. Sociable. And as he aged, he actually became even more friendly, to the point that it affected me so that I too became more friendly and less hostile. After Vietnam, my definition of a true friend became very simple. Someone who would be willing to put their life on the line for yours. Steve proved that kind of friendship to me in December of 1969, before I even went to Vietnam. He was home on leave from Marine Corps boot camp in California. I was home on leave from Army Advanced Individual Training in Alabama. We met at a high school dance. It was Steve's high school, both wearing our military uniforms, even though we didn't need to. But at our young age, we thought it was pretty cool to do that. While we were standing there talking about our upcoming deployments, Steve to Okinawa, me to Vietnam, a fellow I'd had trouble with years earlier when I went to the same high school Steve did for a year, walked up and sucker punched me, knocking me flat to the floor. I jumped up ready to fight. I noticed I was surrounded by about 30 guys, all friends of the one who hit me. I took my stance and told him to bring it on. Then I heard a very loud "Hoorah!" In an instant, Steve had jumped completely over the circle of guys that surrounded me, and he and I were back to back, slowly moving, slowly turning in a circle, ready to take on whatever came next, knowing full well the odds were not in our favor. Before anything else could happen, though, the police arrived and broke it up. They suggested Steve and I leave the high school dance, and of course, being the gentlemen we were, we did. But that night, Steve became one of my closest friends. I knew then that he had my back and I would have his for life. Up until that moment, he'd been my brother's buddy, not mine. But that single moment carried our friendship through the next 50 years. Now I'm going to miss Steve. I'm going to miss our phone calls and our video chats. I'm going to miss our songwriting. But I'm going to miss him with a smile, because his memory will always live in my heart. I truly believe we'll see each other again someday. I believe he's in the same place that I'm headed to, and that's heaven. I learned just recently that Steve, while stationed in Okinawa, asked several times to be deployed to Vietnam, only to be rejected each time. And as an afterthought, you'll understand this in a moment, I wish he would have been deployed there. Steve was a proud Marine, and like many who served, he spent time stationed at Camp Lejeune. Now, while nothing can be stated with certainty, I believe his passing may have been connected to complications stemming from the toxic water exposure there that some of you may have read about. It's a burden far too many service members have carried long after their service ended. Just like the Agent Orange situation in the Vietnam War era. But for Steve, his war has ended, and all the pains caused by this toxic water have been cured once and for all. Our friend, Steve, will now live pain-free for eternity in the presence of God while singing with the angels in heaven. Now let me close by sharing this very touching song written by Steve and Deuce. But first, here's the story behind it. When Steve's son was about 16 years old, he called Steve at work, devastated by the sudden death of a close friend, a young girl killed in a car accident. Deeply moved by his son's grief, Steve began writing this song. It took about a year to complete, and eventually he and Deuce paired the lyrics with a melody Deuce had written earlier. The result is a powerful and deeply moving song titled "The Bible on the Shelf." Without further delay, I want to present Steve Gilnett performing his own original piece. If this song moves you, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment for Steve. I truly believe he'll see those comments because I believe he's in heaven looking down on us today. I'll miss you, buddy. Thank you for being my friend.
Well, the Bible on the shelf is getting dusty. See, I haven't picked it up since she's been gone. I find time each night to cry. I guess I'll always wonder why she was taken from the ones who loved her while she was so young. Now each day that passes still brings doubt and sorrow. Sometimes I wonder if my faith is true. Though I may never understand, I know that God must have a plan, and no matter what I do, He'll get me through. Now I can't explain this emptiness inside of me, and sometimes I wonder if the pain will go. I get bitter now and then. She was more than just a friend, but she's an angel up in heaven now, I know. So I'll be thankful for the time we had together, and for memories that still linger on my mind. We'll never really be apart, because she's right here in my heart. And I thank God for all the love she left behind. I'm still gonna miss her.
As I was creating and listening to the final copy of this memorial to my good friend Steve Gilnett, I thought about the last conversation we had just had a day before his passing. It was about another song Steve wrote and recorded with his interfaith band and released on the CD, Reaching Out. Steve mentioned that during our 50-year separation, He had developed a gambling addiction and was inclined to place bets on nearly any opportunity that came up, losing more than winning, of course. It was a costly addiction and almost cost him his home and his family. He prayed about it, but the prayers did not seem to stop him from gambling. Then he told me that one night his mother, who had died way back in the early 1970s, came to him in his dream. Yes, she scolded him like loving mothers do to their children, but she also assured him of her love and God's love for him. He told me the next day, after contacting a bankruptcy attorney to assist with his financial situation that gambling got him into, he sat down and began to write the words to another song, An Angel in My Dreams. The plan was for Steve to send me several pictures during the recording and production of this CD, and I would show those pictures as he and his singing partner on the song, Christy Wagner Robb, who also has the voice of an angel, sang it. Steve told me before his untimely death to use this CD and the 8 songs on it however I see fit. I had his permission. So with this pre-approval, I decided to also add this song to this memorial tribute for Steve. Again, feel free to like it, comment on it, and share it if it moves you to do so. My tribute for Steve will come to a close after this song, but his memory will live on in my heart for eternity. Rest in peace, buddy. To me, you are a true American hero, and you deserve to be in the arms of our Lord. We'll be right back with An Angel in My Dreams as soon as this music finishes. Thank you for listening to this memorial.
I cried myself to sleep last night. I drifted off on a sea of tears. It seems I've struggled almost all my life. Never had the nerve to face my fears. Then I saw an angel in my dreams, and she said,
"Come with me into the light. Just follow me out of the darkness. Everything will be alright. Yeah, everything's gonna be alright."
So I tried to put my faith in Jesus. I prayed for answers from above, but answered prayers don't always please us, even though they're sent to us with love. So God sent an angel to my dreams, and she said,
Come with me into the light. Just follow me out of the darkness. Everything will be alright. Everything's gonna be alright.
Then I awoke to meet the morning sun. It was time to face a brand new day, and I realized